Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Game 3 of this best-of-5 series between Execration and Team Titan. You're watching the semifinals of the Inaugural. This is the second set of semifinals. The winner of this series will be facing off against Team Scythe in the best-of-5 finals coming up tomorrow night. The winner of that will secure a seat in the summit. I am Zyori, joined by Hippie. Chris, welcome back. Game 3, Titan looking good in the first two games. What's the good word here coming into our third match?
Good word is Dota, as always, my friend.
Dota.
Always the best word. But, I mean, just Titan looking very, very strong. Execration needs to find some way to throw them off their rhythm, or this doesn't look to be a great game. But I have faith. I have faith in every team that can make it this far in a tournament to pull something amazing.
Hippie faith, huh? Well, already, I think Execration in a little bit of trouble in this draft. Some of those scary heroes get through. Nature's Prophet first picked by Execration, but Titan right there with the response. They'll first pick the Nyx Assassin. That's a hero that's been banned out at least once, if not twice, already in this series, and a hero that works pretty darn well against the Rat Dodo of Nature's Prophet. So I think they're off to a good start, but Titan thinking long and hard about their second pick. It'll be a Shadow Shaman. I just had a "that's what she said" in my head and made myself laugh. Oh god.
Oh wow.
I forgot that I'm 15. Sorry, that's my bad.
It's true. It's true. Well, all Dota casters and players just really want to be children for our entire lives. Dude, I'm telling you, don't
I'm basically a child.
Don't grow up. I had to grow up over the past couple of months. It sucks, okay?
Damn, I feel bad for you, Chris.
I will quickly say, you know, the two big problem heroes for KYXY in the previous two games, gone. Execration says, not even dealing with it. You can have whatever you want. We're not dealing with that Invoker, and we're not dealing with that Ember Spirit. You mentioned them during the last draft.
Yeah, those are the two big ones. That Ember Spirit Game 1 and Invoker Game 2. Those are the two big daddies that completely shut down Execration. And here, it appears that Execration want to do a little bit of pushing. They've got themselves a Chen to go with their Nature's Prophet. And, well, that just screams push to me, but I like that Titan grabbed the Shadow Shaman here. I'm excited to see a little bit of Rasta Pasta out on the field.
Yeah, you were mentioning him during the first draft, said he's someone you really like. I think he's definitely still a hero who can be very, very strong. I mean, especially if you can just find some way to get him that early experience, get him that early ultimate. It's devastating in team fights before anyone has the durability to be able to kind of just sit there and kill it. I mean, even post-team fight early enough, if they try to farm up those wards, they're going to lose a hero or two. Like, they're just that devastating at the start of the game.
Yeah.
And, of course, plenty of disabling power to work well with that Nyx Assassin and with whoever else gets drafted.
Yeah. Third bans make sense on both sides of the coin here. The Enchantress would have worked pretty well for Titan, give them a little bit of aggression in the early stage, and then some pushing power to synergize with the Shadow Shaman. Certainly something that Titan would have considered. And Luna, a hero that pairs pretty nicely with that Chen. They can knock down hero or towers early on, create some space for the Luna, get her some farm. That's a duo that, is it Cloud9? They like to first pick the Luna Chen pretty frequently. So not a bad read from Titan, but Execration will take their time with their fourth ban.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the potential exists from the Chen and the Nature's Prophet to get a lot of pushing done already. The Luna would have added significantly to that. They could, I mean, you could get something still aggressive to go with it. You could get a Lifestealer. He pushes decently well just because he can fight under tower with Rage, since he doesn't have to worry about getting stunned under tower. Or, you could go in for a pushing mid. There's still the potential of something like a Death Prophet as kind of an all-in sort of strategy, or something like a Dragon Knight is not a bad pusher who's a little more balanced.
Yeah.
So there's they could not even go with more pushing. They could say this is enough. They might go for something a little more stable, some more gank power, and make sure that they can keep down whatever Titan brings in. What I would like is something with some durability, because the Shadow Shaman and the Nyx Assassin already can pick off so much very, very easily. I mean, the Chen will be food, the Prophet will be food if they ever get their hands on them with any sort of smoke rotation or anything, and the Lifestealer are going to be banned out by Execration, actually. Interesting, because I thought it would have worked really well for them, actually.
Yeah, I guess they're a little bit afraid of the potential of the Nyx Assassin Lifestealer combo. He's a pretty good little delivery vehicle there, a taxi driver Nyx. And yeah, Lifestealer can just be a little bit difficult to deal with. I mean, Chen and Nature's Prophet, like Lifestealer would have worked well on that team, but Lifestealer also works well against those two heroes. Yeah. So it depends on what they have in mind for the rest of their draft, but if they're looking for these kind of squishy heroes that don't really have positioning tools, that's a field day for the Lifestealer once he gets up in your face.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. You need something that's not just going to get wrecked by the Nyx Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
That's my, and there's still that Nyx could be an offlaner and there could be another ganking support coming out. So you have to worry about whatever else is coming. AA still in the pool, by the way. Interestingly enough, I would
Titan might snag
that
him
would be
here.
amazing for Titan.
Yeah.
I mean, you have good setup for Cold Feet if you need it. You have double ranged support if you do it at the AA Shadow Shaman +1. And then, of course, just the Nyx ganking solo along with AA Ultimate is devastating.
So this is an interesting draft from Titan because it's hard to read how they'll choose to lane this. It could very well be a support Naga, could be a solo mid Naga, or it could be a position 1 Naga. Nyx, likewise, could be the offlaner, could be the support, or it could be solo mid. There are just so many options, and frankly, Titan might not know exactly how they want to lane this. Sand King is still in the pool. That would make them very melee heavy, but if they want to run a position 1 Naga, they could get net his Sand King. Also, Lion, still an option. And like you mentioned, Ancient Apparition. So still a lot of scary heroes. I'd be curious to see what Execration grab here.
I mean, do you get the AA Ultimate on Execration to try to stop push? No, you're going for a Vengeful... That's interesting. I don't think you needed to get that right now. Maybe you get the Venge because you don't want to reveal anything more about your picks.
Right.
But it's not like she's going to get picked up. I mean,
yeah.
Venge kind of works with Naga. You've got the minus armor combination happening between both the Riptide and the Wave of Terror, but yeah, and there's the AA. I mean, that's exactly what you left on the table when you picked that Venge.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm not sure. They must have a trick up their sleeve. It's obvious Execration want to push. Venge works very well for pushing strats, scouting tool with the Wave of Terror, the Aura, all that good stuff, but there's a phrase that comes to mind here, Hippie. Homage to Breaky CPK, but at what cost to get this pushing strat? It's pretty much all of the good heroes in the pool. The 4 heroes that Titan have drafted so far are all ban-worthy heroes, in my opinion, and this is just one hell of a scary draft. Regardless of how they lane it, regardless of, even though it's probably going to be a Naga mid, Nyx in the off lane, or maybe it'll just be a position 1 Naga, Nyx in the off lane, then a mid hero. There's that Dragonite you were talking about, so that'll be a step in the right direction for Execration, but still, this is a really scary draft for our Radiant side.
I'm glad they picked him up, though. I mean, he's exactly what I want of them. You need a reliable mid laner who has the potential to make some plays, but also has some pushing power, and who is durable and can't easily get ganked out of the game.
They need a front liner.
I think the Dragonite was literally the perfect pick for them.
Yeah, I second the notion there. And Titan, they banned out the Death
position
Prophet.
1.
Yeah, they think it'll be, or it could also just be a position 1 Death Prophet. If you're doing like an all-in push strat, you've got to put somebody kind of awkward in that pushing.
That's
but
mean.
Look at this, Titan. They know what's going down, and they say, "All right, you want to push? We're gonna march some machines into your arse." And yeah, good luck dealing with that. March of the Machines, Ice Blast, Song of the Siren, and Offensive Wards, Execration. All I have to say is good luck. This is, I get it. I hate to try and call things too early here, but this is just this is one of the scariest drafts that Titan could have picked up based on the heroes that were banned out, I think.
Well, here's your problem. As much as you have good gank to slow down the Tinker, if you're relying a lot on ganking, you're not pushing. If you're not pushing, you're not ending the game. And if you're not ending the game against Naga Tinker, when your strongest carry right now is Dragon Knight, I mean, sure, you have the Prophet in the late game. You're going to have, hey, they go in for the Morphling. That's some late game right there, but I'm not sure. I'm still not sure they quite handle Naga Tinker in the late game. I think that's too much split push.
Yeah, the Morphling pick seems kind of out of left field here. This is one of these drafts where it seems like Execration has already committed to all-in push, and then grabbing the Morphling, he doesn't really synergize with pushing all that well. I mean, he does with the Replicate, and he can do some Rat Dota split pushing, but I guess they're trying to hedge their bets into the late game, but he's still going to get out-carried by a Naga and a Tinker. It will be a KYXY Naga. So, I feel like this is Execration going, all right, we want to push. They look at that last pick Tinker and go, oh, shit. We're not going to be able to just knock down tier 3 towers. We're going to have to take this late game. Quick, get a carry. And they pick the Morphling, and it's now kind of this draft is all over the place.
I don't think the Morphling is really that out of left field. I think they have enough strong push that they don't need to worry too much about getting like a hard pushing carry too, because then you're just far too all in. And like you said, against the Tinker, there's no way that's going to work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, your Morph needs to get items pretty quickly to be able to deal with what's going to be a reasonably leveled Nyx Assassin in the off lane, who's going to be pretty tanky, or excuse me, pretty strong in the early ganks. You're going to have the Shadow Shaman rotating, like I've been talking about for a while. You're going to have the AA Ice Blast, which is going to put a lot of pressure on him, and it means that you have to be very, very careful about how you're morphing things.
What I don't like about the Morphling here is he's a hero that takes a long time to come online. I'm starting to come hey y'all, there's Skype for that. Zero tolerance policy here for that. So I already putting down the hammer. Look at all these Naga illusions.
It's like the #1 most hard-ass admin, obviously.
I mean,
you're even so hard-ass that you greet them with "Hey y'all."
Hey y'all.
It's cool. I would
Paula,
do it too.
Paula Dean style. Listen, it's one thing if like there's a pause or you need to contact an admin. They don't have me on Skype. But if you're just gonna talk to each other in a language I don't understand, like, come on now, you're ruining the spectator chat experience for everyone else. Just take it into Facebook chat, take it into Skype, do what you gotta do. And, yeah, what have you. But, yeah, I'm coming around on the Morphling. I'm not as much of a Morphling hater as I once was, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. But there's no doubt about it that Morphling is a carry that takes a long time to come online, especially relative to some other carries that have sort of more of a linear progression and have a little bit more of a mid-game presence. And even though Titan have a really good counter-push strat, or anti-push strat with the Tinker and the Naga, they've still got some pretty highly gank-oriented heroes. Net on the Shadow Shaman and Ohio on the Nyx Assassin. It's not like Titan are just going to be sitting back and farming. They'll be moving around, and in the mid-game, they'll have a presence. And I worry, again, that even though Execration have a pretty good pushing lineup, if they get repelled, things could get difficult before this Morphling really comes online. They will start off aggressive, though. Vengeful Spirit, as well as Chen, smoked up, headed to the Radiant Jungle.
I mean, if Chen doesn't get a good creep right here, it's just a Wild Wing. He doesn't have a gank creep.
Oh, no.
So that's I almost just I can't be okay with smoking.
He had a centaur in his jungle too. Oh no. They roll the dice and they crap out here, Hippie. And mud golems. Oh, it just keeps getting worse for the Chen. Oh no. This is awful. This is pretty much the worst start they could have hoped for based on this strategy they're going for here with an aggressive creep to wrap around. They really want to pressure KYXY early. Ninja Boogie taking a lot of damage. There's the Dragon Tail to start things off. The Wild Wing Ripper may actually be enough. A Naga with the illusions. There's the first blood. Chen will get it. So we were all cynical here, but they still managed to grab the first blood. However, it was a close call. Ninja Boogie did almost take a spill. So
well, yeah, KYXY was very, very close. That split second of invulnerability on Mirror Image almost let him get off the Riptide. It was just barely still on cooldown, I think.
Yeah, it really was a close call. So, well done by Execration, though. They prove us wrong, and they get the first blood, and their first gank is successful. So that worst-case scenario for Chen ends up working out okay. Maybe KYXY just positioned a pinch too far forward, but all things considered, could have been a lot worse. For Execration, I mean.
Yeah, decidedly so.
So let's introduce our rosters here. We've got Titan on the Radiant side. They're the ones up 2-0 in this best-of-5 series. We'll have a pause. It looks like Yamate, maybe some lag issues here. But it'll be Extinct playing on the Ancient Apparition. Will be a tri-lane in the safe lane. I did pick the Singapore server, but looks like there's just non-stop lag issues. Yamate will be in the safe lane Tinker, and he'll also be supported by Net playing on the Shadow Shaman. In the mid lane, we've seen KYXY. He was the victim of the first blood, and it is Ohio in the off lane here on the Nyx Assassin.
And over on the side of Execration, going to have Ninja Boogie handling that Dragon Knight. Aben going to be playing the Morphling. Oh, looks like he wants to go in on Ohio, but nice triple stun, catching the Centaur as well, preventing that, the Hoof Stomp was already out, but at least preventing any sort of more pursuit coming out from Execration. That could have been very, very deadly. Ooh, I'm surprised he didn't go down right there. Where was I? BG01 going to be handling our wonderful Lady, the Vengeful Spirit. The Chen will be played by Fox, and the offline Nature's Prophet taken by you.
Yes, indeed. A slightly better draft for Execration this game, and they're off to a good start, but I would be scared anytime I'm up against a Naga and a Tinker. That is a recipe for a bad time just in general. Two heroes that are not fun to play against as we see more lag spikes coming out on this wonderful server we've been blessed with. Thank you, Singapore Volvo. Thank you. Naga, the last hit leader in this game, though, 12-1 against the 10-0 Dragon Knight. Ninja Boogie doing just fine, but as the DK, there aren't really a lot of ways to stop the Naga from farming. Sure, he can get his own. He'll get some farm, spamming that breathe fire, bottle crowing to his heart's content, but still KYXY finding a lot of last hits. Meanwhile, up top, Ohio, very aggressive positioning here, will go ahead and use himself that healing salve, but you He'll port up on the Nature's Prophet. That'll be a kill on Ohio. Chen gets the last hit once again. That'll make Chen 2-0 to start things off in hero kills. But another kill going the way of Execration to get this match started.
Yeah, and you already porting top. He's got his level 2 Nature's Call. They're just going to try and take this tower at the 4-minute mark, and they probably can do it. It's not like there's going to be a rotation this early from Titan, and the Nyx Assassin can't do anything about it.
They'll give Titan a dose of their own medicine. Yep, this is exactly how Titan like to run their Nature's Prophet. Rotate him early, and Ohio, oh no. Is he going to get magic missiled here? Nope, not enough mana on the Venge, a smart read. And he's just trying to pull this creep aggro, and he's doing a good job biding his time so far, pulling this fight into a different quadrant of this top lane. I don't know that he'll be able to stop the push, but doing a good job so far. There's an Impale coming out, and even pulling more creeps to that back tier 2 tower. Unfortunately for him, though, the Dire side have a fresh wave coming in. They burn the glyph to try and buy some time. Ultimately, I think this tower will fall, Hippie.
Well, yeah, and on top of the fact that they have the Prophet up here, they also have the Chen with the summoning creep, Dark Troll Summoner. So that tower really was just destined to fall.
Skeleton babies there. Yeah, not much you can do about it.
They forced 4 heroes to commit to nothing but the tower for a full minute, which is pretty decent, and it's given them enough time to actually get a lot of damage on the bottom tower.
And Nature's Prophet, he ports in on the south side of the tower. This is pretty bold positioning. He does have Phase Boots up, but very low on mana. And if this is a tower-for-tower exchange, that's actually huge for Titan. They don't have the better pushing lineup here, and they don't get the tower kill quite yet, but they do a pretty considerable amount of damage. Yu, not out of the clear yet. Net on the high ground. Does have a Shackle and a level 2 Ether Shock, but doesn't even burn the Shackle. Nobody inbound to try and follow up. Or will they? No, there's a creep wave here. I was going to say, a little surprised they didn't dive the tower, but unfortunately his teammates just not in position to make it happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, just because you pulled away that creep wave that was tanking the tower, none of them could hang out.
Big plays for Ohio in the top lane. It's a 3 versus 1, but he stuns the Venge, and he actually makes it a 1-0 going the other way. Oh my gosh, Ohio doing so much work here. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, you will get shackled. They'll finish him off, and this will end up being the tower-for-tower exchange we were talking about. The creep wave will come in, and this tier 1 down bottom will probably fall. Glyph has already been burned. There is a TP forward. Actually, 2 TPs forward. Yamate, he'll pay for his greed. I spoke too soon. They won't finish off the tower, and now these supports will get picked off. Extinct spills, and double kill coming after the Morphling.
That's a pretty solid start for him. I mean, he's sitting 21-3, so not the best CS for 6 minutes into the game, but picking up that double kill gets him close to his perseverance if he wants to go in for that next, which you would gamble he might.
Yeah, now what's really scary here is... Oh, no, never mind. Pardon me. I misread. I'm derping all over the place here. About a 700 gold lead for Execration, but experience lead actually going the way of Titan. Kind of as we would expect. They spent more time in lane, less time roaming around as a group. But this Naga, this is still KYXY just tearing up the CS chart and still our #1 farmer on net worth despite Morphling getting decent CS and getting a double kill. Naga's CS just proving a bit too potent, and KYXY, we'll see what item build he goes for. More commonly, it's been that Drum of Endurance and then Radiance build, so Naga's a little tankier, has a little bit more utility in the mid game, but he might be able to get away with just a straight Relic here if they don't start to pressure him. Now Execration, rotate towards the bottom lane. Tinker, level 3, March of the Machines, trying to buy some time. Net, in some trouble. They'll dive way past the tier 1. And they secure that kill. Killing spree out on the Morphling, but Ohio here with the response. Will he be able to morph fast enough? He's out of mana. Tinker will end that killing spree, but he's stuck in the trees. This Tornado doing some serious damage to Yamate. He'll get finished off by Nature's Prophet. Ohio doing as much damage as he can, but he's out of resources. Chen dropping the hammer. A few more auto attacks will finish him off, but there's the Spike Carapace. Now Net rejoining the party. Ether Shock finishes off Nature's Prophet. He'll continue to pursue. Oh yeah, coming out onto Fox, and there's the Impale. That's a dead Chen. And Titan, they clean it up, and they defend their bottom tier 1 tower, Hippie. But most importantly, more space created for KYXY. He's just farming away while the rest of his team is picking up hero kills and defending towers.
How is Ohio alive?
Spiked Carapace.
Good positioning, spiked Carapace. There's so many. He got into the trees. He took the HY mantra. He hung out in the trees for a little bit, then came out with that excellent max range Impale.
Extinct in the top lane. That'll be an easy kill for Execration. I have to say, Yu has been on point with this Nature's Prophet. He is 2-2-2. He's been involved in more than half the kills. And that's Phase Boots working towards a hand of Midas. But, yeah. Still, Titan, they're hanging in there. Again, like, this is easy time for Execration. This is when knocking down tier 1 towers should be easy. And Titan, they're right there with a response. The tower count is leveled out as they pressure down the bottom tier 1. And That's BOT's up on Yamate here. He got them right around like 7 minutes, 30 seconds. Pretty decent timing. And Ninja Boogie now, he's in some trouble. He pops the Elder Dragon form, but he'll get stunned up by Ohio. Naga Siren coming in. Riptide, no ensnare, but they won't even need it. The Hayataya coming out from the net. And they'll find another kill on the solo mid. Titan with the response.
Yeah, Naga is looking at like an 11 or 12 minute relic timing.
Ridiculous.
Which is pretty freaking scary on top of everything. I will say, though, I said that Execration needed to find a way to win the laning phase, and they went one step further. They just tried to eliminate the laning phase altogether and just go straight into the pushing phase.
Yeah. Yeah, it's backfiring a little bit. Some big plays have come out across the board for Titan, though. Ohio's been a big playmaker this match, and like I've been saying, space creation for KYXY. Usually you just can't get away with a relic this fast, but the Dragon Knight pick, I have to say, almost backfiring a little bit. I feel like they needed to put more resources into trying to gank this Naga, but Titan had a good read that Execration were going for all of this early pushing. Their ability to gank would be semi-limited, and even though they got first blood on Naga, after that, just no pressure came his way. And now it's Titan being the aggressors. They'll have a 3-man smoke into the dire jungle. They'll bump into a Chen. Easy kill to start things off, and now Venge on the run. She'll get hit by the Ice Blast. Ohio won't pursue. You nearby, but he'll just TP out.
Honestly, I think they could have put a lot more pressure on the Naga. I don't think that their draft is particularly bad at it. I think DK and Venge alone can probably kill a Naga very early because you know she's not going to be going in for hit point items. She really wants to rush that Radiance. And even if you only gank her a couple times and force her to tank up a little bit, maybe get a bracer that's going to go into a drum or something like that, maybe get a full drum because she just feels so threatened, that's time away from that Radiance. So I think just the Venge rotating in, it's not like she's doing a lot during pushes, could have made a huge difference.
Yeah, Venge has been rather unimpactful this game, 0-1 and 3, and with that, Titan will just take out a tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Rasta wards come down, and ends up being an easy push. Execration have no way to defend. 3,200 gold on that Naga Siren in the mid lane. Oh, saw TP coming in and thought we'd see initiation, but it's just the Dire team grouping up about their mid tier 2 tower. And now they're grouping, may try and do a little bit of counter pushing themselves. Head towards the mid lane. Chen, Arcane Boots, and a Buckler up. They'll farm up some of these Rasta wards. So a small gold boost going their way. Baby steps here, Hippie, but steps nonetheless.
Hey, baby steps are the first step to real steps, and real steps are the first step to winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's possibly one of the dumbest phrases I've come up with off the top of my head ever.
Jesus, dude.
Look, I have to say something. It's what I do. I love my own
It's
voice.
what I do. I've got to say some words, and that's what I say sometimes. So whenever I say something, I'm just like, sometimes in your casting, you just open your mouth, words come out, and you have that retroactive, like, what did I just say? Cheese and crackers.
You can't caster if you don't just love talking.
I need a vacation.
It's our stock and trade, man.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So there is a smoke from Execration here. 4-man rotation. Ninja Boogie will be keeping the mid lane steady in his Elder Dragon form, but I think they're looking for a kill on Ancient Apparition. He'll be hiding in the trees. TP coming in from Yamate, and Magic Missile to start things off. A lot of burst damage coming his way. They'll just grab an easy kill. Morphling gets the last hit, but now support coming in for Titan. Marching the machines out already. We'll start to zone them out. Ohio finds initiation on Chen, but the follow-up isn't there. And Chen scoots back to safety. Dragon Knight now joining the party. The rest of Titan looking to rotate in, but this should be more just about minimizing losses than anything else. Naga now has the relic. And here's initiation. Net will get initiated upon. Rasta wards come out behind the tower. Net survives a little bit longer than anticipated. Ward's doing a fair bit of damage, but no follow-up. The tower still falls, and they will just clean up the wards. Double damage on Dragon Knight. Titan losing 2 heroes. I think they should have just let that tower fall. They didn't have much of a chance for a defense, and with Naga a little bit less than halfway to the recipe for the Radiance, just sit back, let the tower fall. They'll get it eventually. Now another swap onto Extinct, and what was just a 2-for-0 will now be a 3-for-0. Morphling waveforms forward, but that time makes a little bit of an opportunity for Ohio, and it will end as a 1-for-3 exchange. Nyx Assassin finally picks off the Chen, showing off that shiny new Blink Dagger.
Yeah, he also uses to get a really nice double stun during that engagement down bottom. I think, honestly, I actually think Titan could have turned that if Extinct hadn't kind of panic-fired the AA ult as soon as Yamate was getting ganked and just missed completely. He kind of panic melee fired it when he was down below in the trees south of the tower, and didn't hit anyone. It was obviously very, very small radius. If he had landed with that, the Chen heal wouldn't have been able to go off before the re-engage came. There would have been a little more damage hitting on everybody, and it would have been just a bigger opportunity for Titan to capitalize on, especially considering just how farmed and how leveled Ohio is for this stage in the game. He's level 10.
Yeah, he's up there with the mid laners, and as well as the Morphling. Looks like Execration, they tried to pressure the mid-tier 1 tower, but Titan came to its defense. And, you know, it was sort of unlucky in that last team fight, the way it started. Yamate was not really aware that they were setting a trap. When that fight started, Execration were all grouped up around this area outside the tree line, and he was just kind of TPing back to lane casual. Okay, let me just push this out here, marching the machines, doing what every Tinker does best, you know, just sucking on that pipe, contemplating the ways of the world. And much to his surprise, they initiated on him right away, and he got picked off before the fight even started. So just imagine how much different that engagement would have gone if Tinker was alive and they weren't there ready and waiting. Speaking of ready and waiting, Fox just gets picked off by the Nyx assassin. Ohio just running amok, 5-1-3. He's been involved in 8 of the 9 kills Titan have picked up this match. He is starting to ball out of control. That's a level 2 Vendetta and makes things even more difficult. Nature's Prophet finishes off the tier 1 tower mid, but at what cost? Net comes forward, does a lot of burst damage, shackles, and Tinker will just finish him off with one heat-seeking missile. They grab that top tier 1 tower, and somebody's got enough for that Radiance recipe here at the 15-minute mark.
That's terrifying. That's a 15-minute Radiance Naga when you already have a Tinker. So no towers are dying ever again. How are you gonna push? You have a Zoo strat mostly, right? You've got the Chen creeps. You've got, I mean, the Prophet creeps are basically useless against the Radiance and the Tinker March. They're just gonna die too fast. The Chen creeps are strong and tanky, but still gonna be frustrating for them to push in. They're gonna get chipped away at. The Dragon Knight is probably your best bet for knocking down towers right now, but it's not like he's farmed at all. He's doing okay. I mean, he's got okay CS, but he has 65 CS. Naga has 108. That's how much more KYXY has been farming. He's practically doubling the other mid laner.
I mean, he's barely left the lane.
It's just going to get worse.
Yeah, he's just been hanging out.
He's got the Radiance now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the whole jungle.
It's totally worth it. I mean, Titan have been doing a great job basically 4v-fying and trying to defend their towers. And if you can trade your tier 1 towers for a Naga Radiance, they'll take that all day, every day. At the end of the match, tier 1 towers are just not that important. They're going to fall anyway. They're pretty much regarded as free gold, and it's just about that time. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Yamate, he gets picked off. KYXY throws out the ultimate, set up with the Ice Blast. Will connect with quite a few. Decent stun from Ohio, and he TP's in it. Oh, the Sprout, it's off the mark. And Ohio, I think he'll be okay. That'll reset his Blink Dagger. If he can find a Blink Dagger reset, he'll be just fine. There's the stun. Can he find it? Nope. He'll get stunned up by the Dragon Knight, and I think Ninja Boogie will grab a kill. So, nice rotation from Execration. It was a 5-man smoke, and they're rewarded for their aggression as they do find 2 kills. Rasta pressuring the top lane, throws down the wards, but Morph ports in, and we'll clean him up before the tower takes too much damage. So, Execration with a sign of life here. But it's going to take a lot more than that to turn this one around, Hippie.
Well, I lied. There's going to be a dead tower down here. Because with the Naga illusions not in position, the Tinker has to be very, very careful about getting in there.
Yeah,
so,
Yamate just keeps getting picked off. It's kind of unfortunate. Again, it's sort of just wrong place, wrong time kind of scenarios. It's not that he's been positioning that poorly, and they've kind of been gunning for him. There's just been now a few scenarios where he's just kind of farming away, and all of a sudden you've got 5 people on top of you and magic missiles coming your way. So
yeah, but you know, in exchange for that, KYXY has complete free farm all game long. So I don't think they'll complain too much. And as soon as Tinker has his Blink Dagger, he becomes a much harder pick off as well.
Yeah, and what's scary, this isn't even where Naga's peak. This is Naga's farming tool. It's 5, 10, 15 minutes from now when Naga will be ridiculous. Up in the top, Morphling. He gets initiated upon by Ohio. Extinct there to follow up with the Ice Blast, and ends up being a relatively easy kill on Morphling before he can even start morphing to strength, and that'll be a nice killing spree bounty going the way of the Ancient Apparition. So he'll have whatever it is he's going for soon. 2,000 gold, could be well on his way to the Ag Scepter, or just may want to go for a mech. No, it looks like Ohio actually going to be the one to pick up mech. So yeah, could be a decently timed Ancient Apparition Ag Scepter there for Titan.
That would be absolutely devastating, combined with just even like the Naga illusions and an Ix and an Ags could take out like 3 or 4 people just with the low HP on Execration and the large amount of damage that Titan's got coming out because they're a little over leveled. KYXY also done with his travel boots. I didn't quite hear if you mentioned that or not, but that's going to accelerate his farm even further. And that I don't know how Execration deals with KYXY right now. 18-minute Travel Boots Radiance when you don't really have a good counter-pushing lineup.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they'll deal with it either. Morphling does have Lincoln's up now, so this will make him a little bit more difficult to pick off. Also has a replicate down. We see Ohio doing the math right now, trying to scout him out, but maybe they'll just be able to secure this kill. Can they finish him off before he hops to the replicate? Ice Blast on the mark. He'll wait for him forward. He wants a kill on net. Rasta wards come down. There's the replicate out, and Morphling survives. They make it a 1-0 going the other way. Nice turnaround from Execration. Space creation, though, in the bottom lane. Bottom tier 2 tower. Looks like it'll fall, so at the end of the day, support Rasta for a tier 2 tower. Last hit that will probably go the way of Naga. Glyph comes out, but Execration not in position to make a defense. It will be the Radiant who get the last hit on the tower. Still a pretty favorable exchange. There's your Blink Dagger out on Yamate's Tinker. But there's the first core item on Nature's Prophet. It will be an Orchid Malevolence.
I mean, okay, so if you're going for an Orchid, it means you want to go a little bit ganky. So they can't really, they're going to get Yamate.
Speaking of ganking, yeah, Yamate, he'll get Orchided now, stuck inside the Sprout, right clicks from the Dragon Knight, all day, every day. Makes for another easy kill. So Execration, they're hanging in there just because they keep finding these pickoffs around the map. The gold graph is zeroed out and a very small experience edge going the way of Titan. I still think they have massive control of this game and they're in it to win it in the long run, but getting a little sloppy here in the mid-game, Hippie.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving away kills they don't need to, but that's kind of, it's just the life of a tanker. If you're putting on enough pressure, if you feel dangerous enough as a tanker, you know they're going to be setting traps for you, but you can't just sit back and do nothing, right? Your job is to be putting on pressure right now, creating space for KYXY to make sure he is always safe. So, I mean, the thing I was going to mention with the Orchid, it's going to be great for ganking the Tinker, but it's not like you're ever going to be able to get the Naga with that because she's just not going to be close enough in. What are you going to do about that Naga, and how does the Orchid help you do that? I really think items right now need to be geared towards how do you deal with this Naga.
Yeah, and even
but
the
at
BKB...
the same time, I can't really think of a particularly better pick because how do you deal with this Naga, like I mentioned?
5-man Ice Blast into the Roche Pit, and oh wow, Execration, they'll commit to this. This could be a huge misplay here. Hippie Titan are in a position to defend. They will contest. Song of the Siren, March of the Machine already out there, just going to set this up. And here's the fight. Ice Blast will expire, but first of all will be Ancient Apparition. KYXY actually taking pretty hefty damage here. They'll try to initiate on him. Ohio trying to keep his good friend alive. He'll do just that. Nature's Prophet falls, but he will buy back. Rasta wards come down outside of the pit. Yu rejoins the party now, engaging onto Net. Will he have damage for the kill? No, Net TP's back to safety. Naga does survive, looking for a kill onto Morphling. He's morphing hard, and he survives. So it ends as kind of a 1-0 buyback from the Nature's Prophet. Two very low health heroes, but Titan won't be able to finish him off. They do, however, contest the Roche. Ice Blast is off cooldown. Ancient Apparition pointing to the tier 2. Titan can still make a hold in the Roche Pit if Execration go back in.
Yeah, the AA ultimate's back up as well. The big thing, though, is they don't have the Naga ultimate, and KYXY isn't healthy enough to fight. So it would have to be a 4v5. Oh, Yu is going for KYXY.
Oh, does he have the Orchid? Yes, he does, but the follow-up
damage
isn't there. Oh! Wow, he really did. He played that exactly like it was Illusion. He wanted to auto-attack it one time to make sure he didn't waste his Orchid and look silly. But that could have been a free kill on the Naga. Easy peasy with the Orchid opener. What a missed opportunity there. Very unfortunate for you. I mean, you can't really blame him. It's hard to tell if it's going to be an illusion or not at this stage in the game, but huge opportunity miss. Net, he'll get stuck inside of a net. His luck be have it. Ninja Boogie will get hit by the Ice Blast. Oh, he'll comes out right before it connects. Clutch timing from the Chen, and that'll be just enough to keep his good buddy alive. It will end as a 1-0. Rasta gets picked off, and again, Execration hold.
They're sending it. I mean, they're dragging it out, but how do you deal with this? What the Morphling is going in for Lincoln's. Do you think he goes in for the shotgun, or do you think they've tanked up a little too much on Titan? I think the shotgun will be really effective against the Tinker, but I think the Naga will be too tanky. So do you go? I think you go straight for the permahex.
Yeah.
Wow. What am I even talking about?
That's Tinker,
the
bro.
Manta style.
Yeah. Execration. They finish off Roche, and it will be pretty much uncontested. They did have an Ice Blast, but wow, a little bit risky. But Execration with a sign of life, starting to regain a little momentum here. In the context of the shotgun, though, I'm just not sure if the timing will be there. The great thing about shotgun is you get it early enough that you can just find free kills. And Ancient Apparition, he's still pretty darn squishy. He does have a Force Staff, but with only 600 hit points, yeah, I think he could get away with grabbing the shotgun here, assuming he doesn't get like picked off in back-to-back fights. As long as he can get it within like the next 5-minute window-ish, 5 to 8 minutes. I think it'll be okay, but much more delay than that, and I think he'll have to just abandon and go into the Manta. Ninja Boogie up top, getting stalked by the Nyx. He does have a double damage rune on, but can they secure a kill on this Dragon Knight?
He's got 1,700 life. Maybe the AAL's flying, so they think they can.
And maybe they can catch him before he BKBs. AA ult on the mark. Nyx doing his round of damage. Heat-seeking missiles won't do any damage, but there's an ensnare to interrupt him from the TP through the BKB, and at the end of the day, it ends up being a wasted BKB charge. Well played. KYXY in the right place at the right time with that physical interrupt. And Naga truly coming in handy. She's got a Reaver out now. That'll be a hard to Tarrasque as her next item following BOTs and Radiance.
That's a pretty big kill, too. It stopped him from picking up his Shadow Blade, which he was very, very, very close to. He's now back down to 1,000 gold with the amulet sitting in his stash. It burned the BKB charge, so he's not going to have that for a little bit more, and they have time to push this tower because he's still down for a good 25 seconds. So a lot more than just that one kill.
Yeah, you're right about that. And even though Execration are hanging in there, Titan are still doing very well around the map and getting slightly out-farmed, but they've got this Naga. The pressure is just not on them. I did miss a kill on Yamate down bottom. That one is my bad. But looks like this Nature's Prophet putting that Orchid to good use. Finding Yamate once again. Ohio in the dire jungle. He'll use his mech. He'll try and TP out. Naga will help his buddy with the Song of the Siren. He'll TP back home as well with the Boots of Travel. So Naga really coming in handy there and minimizing their losses. Ends up just being a 1-for-0 around the map.
Yeah, enough of a commitment of heroes up top that Titan doesn't feel comfortable taking that tier 2. Which I really thought they basically had for free with the Dragon Knight pickoff. But no, so good job from Execration. They're still holding. And it's impressive because we kept talking about how far ahead Titan was, how fast they were getting farmed. Execration really making that look like it doesn't matter. They're playing very, very clean Dota most of the time. And the pickoffs on Yamate are just so huge.
Yeah.
The man's 2-6 now.
Yeah, they have been shutting him down pretty well. It's slowing down his farm quite a bit as well. One thing that Titan haven't been doing is utilizing Ancients. I have not seen them stack or do a Martian Machine Ancient kill yet this game. It's possible I could have missed it, but they just don't seem to be interested in finding some recovery farm for Yamate. And I think part of the problem for Titan here is they're playing this like they've already won, kind of. They're playing very aggressive. They're getting a little bit sloppy. They could just sit back, farm safely with the Naga, and wait for Execration to push, and then just... Well, I mean, what do? They can't push into this Tinker. They can't push into the Ice Blast. Even though Execration are finding ganks around the map, they still can't really push. They still can't really utilize the core strength of this lineup, which is pushing. So I think Titan are still in great shape in the long run, but they just need to tighten up a little bit, start going 5-man style, and if they can get a team fight where Yamate doesn't get picked off at the very beginning, I think they're still in good shape to take a victorious 5v5 engagement.
They just need to tighten up.
Oh gosh, that was an unintentional pun.
You've been doing that for the entire series.
Tighten up. Jeez, look at that. I'm just a natural, I guess. I don't know.
So disappointed. So, the Naga with Heart and Radiance is going to be very, very hard for them to deal with. The Radiance was already causing them some problems, but now, they can go full siege mode. Titan can. And, Execration, they don't really have... they have good strength to engage. They at least have this Aegis still on the Morphling. They get that... they're going to get this top tower, so that's going to be something.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they're taking Chip out and losing that Aegis on Morphling.
They'll be there. The Impale is the follow-up damage going to be here to secure a kill. No, it won't. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Naga doing everything he can to try and defend off this push. But it is a 4-man rotation from Execration. They won't try and break high ground. So burning the Aegis, not too bad for Titan. But I guess a tier 2 for tier 2 exchange kind of favors Execration a little bit. Gets them a little bit of extra gold on the field. Pretty even, though.
20 gold to shotgun if he wants it. So that's
there it is.
I think about 3 minutes ago you said 7 to 8 minutes is the maximum he should be going for it. So he's done very, very good on that timing. If he can get, I think Yamate has to be the big target for this. If you get that Tinker at the start of every single fight, because you've said it yourself, if they don't pick off that Tinker at the start of one of these fights, it could be absolutely huge because he is going to be a force. He's got max level on all of his spells. He's getting some level of farm. He's got his blink. He's got all his regen. He's going to be going for a sheep next. So he is going to become very, very powerful, but he's still kind of squishy. So if they can manage to get those pickoffs, they can win the 4v5 most of the time, even with how farmed KYXY is.
Yeah. And Gem up on the Chen now. So Execration looking to find some map control, take out some wards. 3 Blink Daggers on the side of Titan. Wow, they have a lot of initiation power across the Rasta, Nyx Assassin, and the Tinker. The Heart of Trask has been completed on Naga, and that'll be a Diffusal Blade, item number 2. Usually you see these carry Nagas grabbing an early Yasha as just sort of a value pickup for the movement speed, so you can farm the jungle a little bit more quickly and efficiently. So a slightly different take on the Naga build. Up top, oh, that's a dead Nature's Prophet. They'll catch him off guard, but the Ancient Apparition, he gets killed by Morphling. Instant buyback from the Nature's Prophet. They want to try to turn this around. Orchid comes out on Nyx, but they'll switch focus. They want Net. I don't think they'll find him as he makes it back to the trees. Yamate, he gets hit by a Dragon Tail. Another double damage rune on the DK. Again, KYXY. Ultimate won't be there in time. Dragon Knight able just to stun through it with his BKB. Net will pour it out. And Naga. It ends up being a 2-for-1 exchange, but the Nature's Prophet buys back. So, again, sort of a break even. And not bad. Not a bad hold for Execration. I would look at that as just a break-even trade.
They caught Yamate again, but you could see, while they weren't focusing him, just how much work he was getting done. There were missiles flying all over the place. It was frustrating the Morphling, frustrating the Furion. There was so much good work being done by that Tinker in that little skirmish. Even though he got picked off in the end, it really shows how much pressure they still do need to put on him and focus they need to put on him during these engagements to prevent that damage output. Because none of them have BKBs except for that Dragon Knight.
Yeah.
So Tinker is just a deadly force, but there's the E-Blade on the Morphling, and another 2,000 gold, so that could be a Mantis soon if he wants it.
Yeah, Morphling is starting to get a little scary here. Not as scary as the Naga, but his item progression has definitely come around. The BKB on the Dragon Knight can be a little bit of a double-edged sword in this kind of a scenario because it makes you immune to the Naga ultimate, and sometimes you can use that ult just to isolate the Dragon Knight. If he BKBs right away, all of a sudden it's a 5v1 while the rest of his teammates are asleep. But in that scenario, it allowed him to secure that kill as Naga popped the ultimate to try and save Yamate, but the BKB kept DK alive and let him finish him off with those right clicks. So kind of back to where we started. Ancients still not being utilized by Titan. That's going to keep bothering me here. Why pick a Tinker if you don't want to use the Ancients?
I mean, for split push, I guess. I guess
to deal with the pushing,
putting
but
enough pressure around the map that he can't afford to be sitting there farming Ancients. That is what I would figure he's thinking. But, you know, I think KYXY can be putting the pressure around, and you can get a little bit more farm and get that permahex running.
Nyx Assassin. Oh, I think you will still shatter here. It'll be a close one. It's only level 1, but, yep, they get the shatter. Nice kill on the Nature's Prophet. Chen even burned the all heal for that as well.
Yeah, that's 70 seconds on the Prophet, though. That's a long, long time he's dead for. So at least this top tier 2 should finally go down, although I've called this before, and it didn't happen.
Yep. Yeah, with that recent buyback, this is a pretty good opportunity to at least knock down the last outer tower for Execration. I don't think they'll be in a position to go high ground, but still a pretty big window of opportunity. And Diffusal up on the Naga. Did I just say that? No.
I think we mentioned it.
Yeah, Diffusal was under production, another 2,500. So, oh, wow, Dragon Knight gets picked. Oh my gosh, pardon me. I was admiring the Naga. Why was he up so far?
He was farming the lane. He didn't. He thought they had backed off, which to me is silly. You would expect them to be coming.
Exactly. I saw Dragon Knight up there. I was like, oh, he saw him. His buddy just got killed. He's not going to walk in there. I can admire Naga's scales for a moment. Little do I know, Dragon Knight was feeling a bit too brave.
He's got the buyback.
He's got the buyback, but now, yeah, they can press forward. At the very least, they can push forward to try and force the buyback. Nature's Prophet down for another 10. There's the DK buyback. Glyph is available, but Rasta wards come down straight away. Glyph popped. And
amazing sieging lineup. Naga and Tinker along with Rasta wards. What do you like? Oh, and there goes the AA ultimate. Oh, you see BG dodging down towards the bottom lane, making sure he didn't get sniped off.
Yeah, that would have been a kill though. So a smart play to smooth down. But even just with these Rasta wards, look at this. They force the buyback, they force out the glyph, and do crippling damage to this tower. It's down to about 20%. Too bad the mech doesn't heal the tower there, Chen. Wow. So just those small missteps, and Titan punished them pretty hard for ultimately a pretty minor misstep. The buyback on DK, I think, is the biggest part there. That was a pretty costly tower defense.
Yeah, I mean, they gave up the tower, they gave up the DK, they gave up the buyback, and they lost 3/4 on their tier 3. And when you're playing against Rasta wards, you know that 3/4 is going to die, especially because you have Naga illusions to tank the shots. It's not like you can even rely on the tower to just, keep itself. And, oh, Furion again.
He just got dumpstered by Ohio. And now he's got a level 1 Dagon to go with that mech. So that's just an easy kill for the Nyx Assassin at this point. He is 1 or 2 creeps away from hitting level 16, and that'll make him even more potent as he roams around the map with Vendetta. And there you go. He's got it.
Ohio's almost as farmed as this Tinker. He's got 9,600 net worth. Yamate has 10,800. That's pretty impressive because Tinker is someone you really think of as farming a lot. And Tinker's gone for a cloak. He says, I'm done. There's too much damage. I'm just going to buy some defensive stuff.
Forget the Scythe of Ice, guys. I got to take a detour. I need a cloak. I need some cool-looking duds, and I need to survive all this magic.
Cloak. Need a hood. Yeah. So, I mean, if he dies with the cloak, does he go hood? And if he dies with a hood, does he go pipe?
That's a good question. They'll actually burn the Naga ultimate for this. He tries to force stab to safety, but he gets turned into a chicken. Easy kill for Titan. And this was like an even game, and then it looked like Execration were going to start to take the lead. And they did, but now Titan they did indeed tighten up here. And now they're just going to press forward. They could probably move into the Roche pit. I think it would be an uncontested Roche, but with the glyph down, 2 buybacks on CD, this is an easy tower push. They've got Rasta wards. He's going to put his pasta all over the field.
Yeah, Naga, anytime she wants to, can have her Manta. She's just saving to make sure she has buyback. So she's getting close to 6 slotted. She gets Manta, she sells the wand, she gets 1 more item, and she's done. So she's 5 slotted at 35 right now. That's ridiculous.
They just got a bottom tier 3 tower without committing anything except Rasta wards. Yamate, he'll commit his life. Oh no, he loses to the Morphling. Meanwhile, up in the Dire base, they'll find a kill onto the Dragonite as he gets initiated upon. Orchid out on Ohio, but will it be enough to keep the Nature's Prophet alive? That might not be, but the mech from Chen certainly shall. This is a dead bottom lane of Rax. Morphling joining the party, gets a kill on the Ancient Apparition. But it doesn't matter. Rax have fallen, and Titan, they got what they came for.
I think it's done. I think this push keeps going.
Yeah.
It's
actually, you're right
now, and
DK
is too strong for them to fight.
He can't buy back. He has an ultimate as well. This Naga's just too big. He hit critical mass. I thought they were going to back out, but no, they don't even have to. There's the Song of the Siren. Thinking Nature's Prophet would come in. Okay, they will back out now. Double damage on the Morphling. Oh, Ohio. He gets off the Spike Carapace. There's the Nether Swap. He will take a spill. Vengeful Spirit. Nice 600 gold bounty for securing the kill on that one. But still, Titan 1 step closer to sealing the deal here.
Yeah, it's just... Oh, man. It's looking pretty grim here. And they're even behind in kills, Titan. At 20 to 22, but it doesn't matter. See, KYXY, 115. He's barely fought for this entire game. 419 CS, 24,000 gold. Naga doesn't need to fight. He has more than 10 CS per minute right now.
Oh
because
my
he's made such efficient use of these illusions, farms the jungle so effectively. Looks like maybe there's going to be like a Desperation Roshan, but there's Naga illusions, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, you taking a lot of damage from the illusions alone. He will TP out to safety. Ice Blast will hit the Chen actually here as they rotate towards the Roche pit.
I don't know. I mean, Execration has to go for something ballsy like this Roshan to have any chance. But if anywhere they go, if they get wiped 1 more time, it's game over.
Yeah. The graphs are so misleading right now. It's only a 3,000 gold advantage and like for Titan and about a 3,000 experience edge for Execration. But that just does not tell the tale of this game.
Concentrated though in the Naga that she is so frighteningly powerful.
Yeah.
Morphling does have a Scotty now. So that's he's actually not gone for the Manta. He's gone for the Scotty. Give himself that tankiness. Let himself deal with things a little bit better. But
I still don't think it's enough.
It's not like you're playing... Well, if you're playing against a carry who was like a single core and kiteable and didn't have illusions, I think it would actually work, and I think it would be great. But the Naga illusions are going to be the big problem here because she doesn't need to be on top of you to be killing you.
Yeah, well, and at this point, I mean, Titan are far enough ahead that they can just rotate the glyph. As soon as the glyph is down, throw the Rasta wards down, and Execration will be forced to fight the heroes, not the wards, and you can just slow siege the towers. Speaking of Rasta wards, yeah, he'll drop them on Ninja Boogie. There's the Shackle. Plenty of follow-up damage, and Yamate, he TPs in, gets a little bit of Rat Dota vengeance. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Yu gets picked off by the Naga Siren. It'll be a 2-for-0 across the map. Morphling comes in now. He gets a counter kill in the mid lane on the Shadow Shaman in the mid. And Execration find another kill on top of Extinct. That'll be a gem on the ground. Morphling doesn't even have an inventory slot to pick it up. He's got to make it back towards home because his base is under heavy siege. That's a dead Vengeful Spirit. There's a Naga just running amok inside the tier 3s. Yamate porting up to the top tier 3 towers as well. Chen coming in. What are they going to do here? Morphling, he's level 23. Yamate needs to be a little bit careful. He does have the Scythe of Ice. Turns him into a piggy and then just backs out, and they will TP home. Tier 3 tower in the mid. just about to fall. Tier 3 in the top, very low as well. So kind of chaos around the map right now, but Titan find a 2 for 3 when it's all said and done.
They're playing very, very patient. They're Titan, because they could probably get... Oh, they just burnt the shotgun on a Naga illusion.
Uh-oh. And look at this rat Dota here. Titan with Yamate in the top lane, and Naga Illusion's just going up in the mid. This is like risk-free base sieging right now. Naga got the last hit on that tier 3 tower with Illusions alone, and the top tower with 31 hit points. Yamate could just sneak in and probably finish that bad daddy off, and he'll do it right now as he comes back home. No, never mind. He'll just let the creeps do the dirty work for him. Meanwhile,
I want this Morphling.
In the mid, up top, another swap onto Yamate. Vengeful Spirit gets pigged up. Mech comes out from the Chen, won't be enough to save the Venge. Chen could be in trouble. No, Fox will just move back to safety. Meanwhile, in the mid, a bang, in trouble. He's turned into a chicken. Buck, 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 buck. That's enough for the kill. Does Morphling have the buyback?
No buyback.
No, he doesn't. That's GG. No, that's it. Well done. They tap out. There's nothing they can do without their Morphling. That'll be a 3-0, and Titan do seal the deal. So it will be a Titan versus Scythe in the grand finals of the inaugural coming up in just about 24 hours time. It should be a titillating best-of-5 final series, but both semis 3-0. Titan and Scythe steamrolling their way to the finals. What a series, Hippie. I think Game 3, the best of them. Execration looking the best here. I think they had the most well-rounded draft, and their Morphling played surprisingly well. 11, 3, and 8. I was worried that he wouldn't have time to come online. He had plenty of time, had a pretty decent showing, but in the end, KYXY's Naga, just too much for them to handle.
Yeah, I think that's about what it gets to. You know, they did a lot of pushing. They tried to make some space, but there was more space for KYXY than for anyone else.
Yeah. 100% agreed, my friend. So, perfect timing here. You had to get to getting in about 5 minutes to head on to work, and we just finished up. So, I am Zyori, and with me today was Hippie. Both of our Twitters are in the title of this broadcast, at Zyori TV and at HippieCasting. He'll probably drop his Twitter into the Twitch chat there. But thank you for joining us, guys. Always a pleasure to bring y'all some Asian Dota coverage early in the morning here on the Pacific Coast. Chris, thanks so much for joining me, buddy. It's always a pleasure, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Yeah, man. I always look forward to casting with you, buddy. It's always good times. Relive the old days, you know.
Bring back Dota Radio. Woo!
Bring back to our roots. Woo!
Yeah, all right. So take care, guys. That wraps up our coverage today. We will see y'all tomorrow.